Blue River Power Company, balancing resources and constraints for corporate social responsibility.
Blue River Power Company is the primary electricity provider in Blue River Valley Township. Unfortunately, the company's oldest power plant is reaching the end of its useful life, and capacity expansions will be needed to meet demand. The residents of Blue River Valley Township are price sensitive, thus overhauling the current infrastructure to accommodate a new technology will be risky. This region is known as the Cancer Cluster due to the residents consuming contaminated groundwater. The power plant is also responsible for majority of mercury emissions in this region. Coal comes from fossil fuel that is non-renewable in nature. 86% of U.S. energy consumption comes from fossil fuels. Coal is a non-renewable resource and will be depleted for future generations to use, if not mined and used with precaution now. In addition to depleting of natural resources, coal pollutes when it's mined, transported to power plants, stored, and burned. Extraction of coal also dramatically affects the Earth's surface and contaminates soil and water. Coal produces 44% of our electricity and is the single biggest polluter in the U.S. according to an environmental protection organization. Coal plants are the nation's top source of CO2 emission, which is a leading cause of global warming.
By carefully analyzing multiple different factors in an environmental analysis, Blue River Power Company will be adequately equipped to face challenges and prepare for opportunities to grow and succeed. The customer is vital to the success of Blue River Power Company. When looking at the demographics of the customer, Blue River must keep in mind that this is a lower income area. The customer will be very sensitive to fluctuations in price. It is imperative that Blue River Power Company successfully study the demographics of the consumer so that they may service their customers properly. Blue River Power Company has analyzed the competitor environment to prepare for any competition, whether it is another organization or a new energy source. This analysis has yielded results stating that natural gas is one of the leading sources of energy, both in price and cleanliness when compared to coal. The chart displayed shows that natural gas has been on the rise in the recent years. Coal provides benefits to the economy, including jobs, a low-cost energy source, and tax revenue for the area. A new facility with new equipment will create jobs, which is a positive for the surrounding economy. On the other hand, a new facility with more expensive technology may lead to increases in price. This price increase may have a negative effect on the area's economy. The technological environment is imperative to Blue River Power Company's pending challenge as their factory is nearing its useful life. Their technological analysis has yielded some interesting results and exciting developments for the future of the industry. Blue River Power Company has studied the cultural patterns, values, beliefs, and trends among the people who live in the area. This is critically important to be involved socially during this challenging time. With such a strong push for clean energy by both the government and consumers, Blue River must include the consumers' ideas and beliefs in their decision making. The political environment is changing rapidly, and Blue River Power Company must prepare so that they are compliant with all the pending changes. For example, the EPA is currently passing an act which will aim to reduce CO2 emissions by 30% from existing plants. Being that Blue River is deciding what to do with their older plant, regulation like this will play a crucial role in their decision making. The legal environment includes patents, copyrights, trademarks, and any liability issues that arise. It is imperative that Blue River study older cases and look toward the future to prepare for any issues. The study of the geophysical environment allows Blue River Power Company to be aware of its dependency and impact on natural resources. The EPA has stated that coal burning plants are a leading cause for mercury and toxins into the air. Blue River Power Company has the opportunity to update their plant and start using some of the newer, greener technologies that will yield cleaner results. By updating their plant, they can lessen the negative impact on the geophysical environment.
Several relevant stakeholders have an interest in and influence over Blue River Power Company's decisions. First, residents are the primary users of electricity in the township and use this electricity to carry out everyday necessary activities. They are sensitive to price increases, which may be used to fund infrastructure upgrades, and may become concerned about power outages. Residents are also concerned about the adverse consequences power production may have on their health. Other local businesses will be concerned about the current state of Blue River Power Company because outages may affect the ability to conduct business. This could cause businesses to lose customers and thus lose money. Overall, losses to businesses could negatively impact the economy. Changes to power supply type may require businesses to invest in new equipment. Shareholders of Blue River Power Company have funds tied up in the business and will therefore be concerned about the well-being and success of the company. Executive leadership has an obligation to work in the best interest of the shareholders and will need to make decisions that will ensure the company is set up for long-term success. The fate of the business ultimately affects employees. If the company is bought out by a new company or if the power supply method changes to a new technology, some employees may be at risk of termination depending on skill requirements and changes in business structure or hiring processes. Employees will also be affected if there are any periods during the transition in which people are unable to work. Likewise, contractors, suppliers, and trade unions will also be affected by the current state of the business. These individuals may have jobs at risk if the company changes power sources, has temporary outages, or conducts layoffs to save money. Lastly, the environment and species living in it are stakeholders because coal manufacturing directly impacts the air, water, and soil, which impacts the lives of inhabitants and users. As a result, regulatory groups have an obligation to ensure that the proper standards are implemented and upheld. Failure to do so may result in fines, negative publicity, and terminations. Blue River Power Company has developed a plan to address the key risks associated with the need to increase electrical capacity while reducing negative health effects on local residents. The company will complete a multifaceted study to determine the current state of the business, assess options, and develop an implementation plan. The company will reach out to the Department of Health to understand the health risks associated with coal power generation. Customers deserve to have reliable, cost-effective power, however, it should not compromise their health. If a correlation is found between coal power generation and severe health risk, the company will develop an action plan to reduce or eliminate any negative impacts based on regulatory standards and requirements. Blue River Power Company will seek to understand expected growth within the community to understand the magnitude of improvements required to satisfy demand. The study will consist of an analysis of alternative, effective power sources that do not pose a significant health risk. The study will also consist of a financial analysis to understand what is most effective and economical in the short and long term. The company will reach out to environmental advocacy organizations and benchmark energy producers to establish collaborative partnerships and leverage the strengths of each organization and skills within the company. These partnerships will bring about innovative and effective new ways to address the company's issues. Lastly, an environmental management program will be established to assess power plants and the risks they pose to the environment and society, conduct plant and process audits, and provide input to future initiatives. The group will research and gather information on trends and issues to ensure the company's strategic plan addresses them.
Balancing environmental analysis and stakeholder concerns point clearly to the need to reduce pollution and environmental impact while keeping costs for local households and businesses manageable. Increased volatility in the price of coal, regulatory risk, and difficulty in obtaining financing have greatly eroded the cost advantage coal once had. When we take other stakeholder interests into account, such as health of the local community, businesses' need for a stable, long-term power source, shareholders' need for low-risk investment, environmental stewardship, and the risk to all of these posed by a major disaster like that at Kingston, Tennessee, the case against coal is quite certain. Balancing the stakeholder requirements for a clean environment, cost-effectiveness, and reliability at first presents a difficult challenge. However, a changing external environment, particularly with regards to technology and resource availability tied to the geophysical environment, have substantially changed this picture. In particular, with costs projected over a 20-year period, natural gas presents an option that will produce substantially less pollution, present less risk in terms of changing CO2 regulations, and still provide a steady source of power with an abundantly available fuel source. Blue River Power Company is also in a strong position to win government grants and financing for cleaner, more efficient power generation. The combination of the health problems associated with the local cancer cluster, as well as the relative poverty of Blue River Township, is a pressing need that will make us competitive for federal and state assistance. Pending the completion of studies discussed in the management plan, an ambitious grant application will also be prepared, which will add a substantial wind component to the new power generation construction. In addition to bringing in a large number of construction jobs, an ambitious wind farm development could make Blue River Township a net power exporter, bringing permanent new jobs and capital in the community and making Blue River Power Company even more profitable. Blue River Power Company is poised to enter into an exciting new chapter. Problems posed by current operations have led to a deeper understanding of the surrounding environment and engagement with the stakeholders which depend upon the company. With this new understanding, cooperation between stakeholders will help the company to leverage the support of government and community to build a cleaner, brighter, and more prosperous future, which will benefit all stakeholders.